Hey everyone, it's Russell, back here for Russell Reviews. And today, I'm going to be reviewing Goosebumps, book number 21, Go Eat Worms, from R.L. Stine's original Goosebumps series. And oh wow, I am going to say I actually thoroughly enjoyed and liked this book. I thought it was great, pretty great. Not perfect, obviously, and it's unfortunately a mid-tier, middle-of-the-road, solid, average book for me out of all the Goosebumps books I've currently read. But this one was still pretty good, despite being a average, middle-of-the-road, perfect middle-of-the-road book for me. It was a very, very great book. And a lot of people do not like this book. I mean, out of all Goosebumps, like, why pick this one as like one of the most hated books ever in the original series? Why is this one of the most hated? It just doesn't make any sense to me. But in my opinion, I thoroughly enjoyed and loved this book. Again, it wasn't perfect, and it certainly wasn't bad. It was just right for me. And it was so much fun. Now, before I get into the plot, this book was not scary, surprisingly. I thought it would have been a bit scary, except for the twist. Well, the twist ending was really goofy and silly, but it also was a little bit creepy and intense and all that stuff. The rest of the book, though, I will note, was a little bit creepy for a Goosebumps book, especially for a more sillier one like this one. But it wasn't really too creepy. Also, this is one of the very few Goosebumps books that is famous for having even more gross-out scares than actual, like, scares. You know, all the scares in this book are gross out. There is one scene in this book that I'm not going to spoil or talk about, but it is this lunchroom scene with the main character, and he involving a worm. Yeah, and that's all I'm going to say about that scene at a just typical school day. And that was so hilarious, but it was also very gross and disgusting, but not gross and disgusting in a bad way, but in a fun way. And it was really descriptive out there for a children's book, from a children's series. Yeah, so far out of all the books that I've read, this book is the most silliest and kind of cartoonish, goofiest, and least scary Goosebumps books I've ever read so far. But it's still really good. So, what is the main plot of this book? Basically, you have a young boy, 12-year-old boy, named Todd, and Todd was just, I kind of don't think he was that bad. A lot of people do not like Todd in this book. However, I do think he, for most of the book, not all the book, but at least for most of the book, he is a cruel and snobby and just jerk idiot kid for our lead main character in this book. He's just, for most of the book, again, not all of it, he behaves that way. He's just cruel to worms, and what he does with them, he does not respect them at all in the ways that they're supposed to be respected. And yeah, Todd, not one of my favorite Goosebumps characters. But I do like the ending, like the very, very ending, right after the kind of creepy, if you will, part of the ending, where, you know, things actually change for him, and the tables turn, which is, you know, really nice for like the ending of a Goosebumps book that I really found genuinely satisfying. Yeah, this is a reprint. I know it's book 21 in the series because, you know, I memorized it basically. I love this, like, color scheme with the purple matching the purple worms and, like, this other kind of color here. I just love it. Yeah, my copy is a reprint because, yeah, it does have the number on the spine. It has white pages, and it doesn't have the raised Goosebumps lettering because this came in a tin with 4 other Goosebumps books, a Goosebumps retro tin set. Yeah, this book was not at all, for some reason, one of the books I just never wanted to pick up as a kid. It might have just been the cover that just looks a little too wacky for me. I don't necessarily mind the cover of this book, the original Tim Jacobus artwork for this book, but I certainly do not think it's my favorite artwork that Tim Jacobus has ever done. It's just, yeah, this artwork actually depicts a really small, brief scene in the book. So yeah, this cover is not a lie. This actually happens in the book. It's very brief though, unfortunately, but it happens. I heard a lot of people say that it's a lie, but I don't believe so. Yeah, I never heard of purple worms. Well, I might have seen purple worms before. I don't know if they're actually real or not. I've seen more brownish worms, but, you know, they just... I don't like how the worms are really, like, drawn out on here. They just look so simplistic. Just lines and purple, that's it. They don't really look like worms. They look like gummy candy worms. All over this notebook, you see a few crawling right through it, punching a hole through it right there. It's, you know, yeah, cool artwork, just kind of wacky. Not really, for me, not really my favorite, but yeah. And then Todd has this younger sister named Regina, and I think it's Regina. And Regina has a younger, best friend named Beth. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you, even though a lot of people view Todd as the more worst character over all them, her sister, or his sister, you know, I honestly viewed and view, view Regina as the more overall, I cannot talk today, sorry, worst character in this book than Todd. She is just much more of a bigger jerk and idiot and snobby, stupid, bratty character in this book than Todd. Todd is a little bit better than her, in my opinion. A lot of people think differently about that in this book. Yeah, that's... Also, Todd has a best friend named Danny, and he just kind of usually helps Todd prank Todd's, you know, younger sister Regina with worms and all that stuff. Yeah. What else am I going to say? Yeah, he just helps Todd prank his sister with worms and stuff, which can get kind of repetitive. That's kind of one of the things I didn't like the most about this book, unfortunately enough. No pun intended. Yeah. Also, the first part of this book, the beginning and kind of near the ending of this book, were just so slow, and they were like my least favorite parts of this book. That kind of prevented it from being one of my most favorite Goosebumps books ever. But again, it's still really good. Yeah. There's also this kind of like muddy place near the playground at their school, at both boys' school. Also, Regina goes to their same school too. Like near the playground behind the school, that's like Todd's most favorite place to pick up worms from. But then there's this new snobby rich kid named Patrick who just starts collecting worms too, trying to be a copycat. And I don't mind Patrick either. He's just kind of a, you know, he's kind of like Danny too. They're both like the more responsible friends. Well, Patrick isn't really a friend at all to Todd, but Danny overall is the more responsible friend than Todd. You know, Todd cut open a worm in this book, and yeah, when, like, I think Danny told him not to? I don't remember. Or I'm just going crazy. I don't know. Yeah, so I don't really have anything else to say about Go Eat Worms. Great, great book. I love it deeply, and I highly recommend it. to anyone out there. And now, if any of you heard the community like trash this book, like actually trash it, don't listen to them. Just give this book a chance. I'm telling you, you might actually like it. But if you have a fear of any bugs, if it's worms, like in this book, of course, or spiders, or any other bugs like beetles and stuff, then this probably wouldn't be the book for you, because it's got a lot of that kind of bug sense and added on to it. It's like the main core plot theme of this book. So it's just a thing that I just wanted to point out for those of you out there watching. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about Go Eat Worms. If I had to rank it out of 5 stars, I'd give it a really solid middle of the road ranking, 2.5 out of 5 stars, which that may seem a little bit low, or too low to be a middle of the road ranking, but to me it is. A 2 out of 5 stars would be a bit of exactly a below average book rating for a book. But this book is just a perfect middle of the road book for me. It's great. I highly recommend it. Yeah, so that really wraps up my book review of that book for you guys today. I don't really have anything else to say about this book. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. Subscribe down below, like down below. And I'll see you again in my next videos. Take care.